Hi and welcome to Design It with Tammie Gibbs. I'm Tammie, and today I'm going to be showing you 4 different ways that you can use coloring images or the line art like you create coloring pages with in different products that can help you basically take single images and then use them across multiple different products. So anyway, I wanted to start off by showing you a couple of the last videos that I have done. This is 8/17 of 26, and this one, the Make Coloring Pages a Game Changer, uses Artistly 6, and it shows you a feature inside Artistly 6. If you haven't already watched that video, it's one of the shorter ones that I'm known for long videos. Sorry about that. But this is a shorter one, and it'll show you how to make those images quickly, how you can use images you've already created to do that. You can use that fundamental concept. There are other products, but this is especially helpful if you already own Artistly. And if you don't own Artistly and you want to check it out, they do have like a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can use my affiliate link. That helps me. It supports the channel, helps all my work creating things to help you learn how to do different techniques and make different products and how to sell those products. So anyway, let's jump in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over into Canva, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I have done. Okay, the first thing I want to do is show you how you can take 2 different features in Artistly, and you can create these little, it's not a new concept to do these little coloring placemats. You can use them for family events like Thanksgiving and Christmas, when you're going to have a lot of grandchildren around or a lot of children around, and you want to give them something to do around the table to keep them busy while you're doing other things, or to just have some quality time with them. So most of the time they do coloring images and also different little mazes or word searches or things like that. So it's a great little printable. It can be printed in 11/17. It can be printed in 8.5 by 14, 8.5 by 11. Just depends on what you want to do. But anyway, so we're going to take this one because I'm going to show you a way that you can actually go in and quickly just grab some of your images and build this poster. Obviously these are the puzzles that I have selected. Now I'm also going to show you a different technique for how to kind of use them without having to use the images that Artistly comes up with for like the mazes. You can go in and literally you can see where I did this. Basically what I did was the image that came up, which let me show you what that one looks like. Okay, so let's just go in here and we'll go to my personal designs, and I'll show you what it looked like before. And I'm doing it this way just to make it a little quicker for us. I don't even know what that design is. Okay, so when Artistly creates these little puzzles, you tell it a theme and it's going to come up with these little images here to match your theme. Okay, so I don't like any of those. So what I did was I just went in and let me just, I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to download it or anything. I'm just going to use my little snippet tool here, and we're going to ignore that that's there just so I don't have to redo it. Okay, so anyway, we're going to go back in over here. I'm just going to do a Let's do it here. Add a page. And then I'm just going to paste it in just to make it go faster for us. But basically all I'm going to do is then, you know, I could remove the background. Okay. And then to get rid of these, I'm just going to take the eraser here and then just erase those off and replace them with the image that I want to be there. And that's what I have done in the other puzzle. So, okay. Now, my tips for you are go in, make a bunch of these puzzles without this spot, obviously. But go in and make a bunch of these puzzles because the maze parts can, I mean, they don't have to all be different. You could make, while you're making, like, I could go back in here and I could just, all of these are different. And I've done 5. So that would give me 5 to already have in a little folder that I could use for multiple products. And then I would not have to redo those, right? Another quick tip for you, if you're going to be making a lot of these, is to make a bunch of different themes. Like you could do dinosaurs, you could do princesses, all the different things that you might do. You could do monster trucks, you know, or you could do sports themes and make them easy, fairly easy to, you know, words. And it will give you a limitation as to how many letters, you know, because it gives you different difficulties. And we'll do that in just a second. I'll show you how to do that. But the quick way to do it would be to do multiple puzzles at one time. And then you have all those. You put them in a Canva folder. You go over here and then you select project and then you create a folder and then you name it puzzles, and we can just do that right now. I'll just walk you through it. Puzzles, and then you create the folder, excuse me, and so then you have a puzzles folder. So inside your puzzles folder, if you open that up, you can add designs, and then you go in, and not designs, you go to upload and go upload files, and then you could you know, select let's see here. I had some. Okay, so you could select these puzzles and then just put them in your folder. So then what you do is you can prep them, you know, and erase the little places and then save those into there without the little images, and then you can go in and add your own images depending on what theme you're using or whatever. You could even make up a lot of different little ones that go with your like for instance, if I was using this one, I could go in and whatever Clipart pack I was using for this design, I could actually save some of those images or import them into the puzzles thing folder. So then I just pull this up and then I can just add these into my poster, wherever it's at. Okay, over here. Okay, so let's just assume we've already done all of that. You know, we can use different phrases from our actual invitation as we did here. Something's not, okay. So here was the invitation that this is all matching. Okay. So I just grabbed this and copied it, and then I was able to put it into the poster here. And you can see how you can build this. Okay, so now I'm going to go over here and show you how you could actually, I didn't do it with this because I already had this one done, but this will show you these images. Okay, so this one was already done, and I put these in. So then now we end up with this. I can download it. So I'd go over here and I would download it. I would download this page. Okay, and then what I do is I would come over here, and we're going to go into the bulk actions, just because I like the way it does it. And not that. We're going to go upload, browse your images, and then I'm going to go down and select it. And then what we're, oops. Give me just a second to get back there. Alright, let's try this again. I get in too big of a hurry sometimes. Okay. We're going to go to coloring page, and to know how to use this feature really well, now we're going to choose 4:3 because it's going to give us that landscape the way we want it. And I'm just going to type in a letter. It doesn't matter what letter. You can type in a whole word. You can do whatever you want to with it. Okay, so I'm going to let that work. But what we're doing is we're saving individually, changing each one of these into a coloring image. So here we've got the whole thing. We can download it, and we've got the whole puzzle done. Okay, so we can take it back over here, and I can show you then what it looks like. Let me just pull it in, go back over here and upload it. And here we go. Now, I also have to tell you the downside to doing it this way. Okay. The downside to doing it like this is that you don't then have the individual images that you can use for different things. So, you know, it basically does it all at one time. You can, you know, bulk, like I show you how to do in the other video. You can bulk do all those images, and then you have all of them that you can just drag and drop in, or, you know, arrange the way that you want to. So to me, that may be in the long run, to be able to use those images in not only the poster, but in, you know, you can repeat the images in some of the other items as well. So you may want to do it that way instead of arranging the color images and then doing it that way. But if you're in a pinch and want to do something really quickly, you can just grab those images and then run it through that. And that's the way you can do your little coloring activity mat, placemat. Okay, so that's our first product that we can do. Now, these are all fairly centering around like parties, in the way that you can, like if you've done an invitation, you can take that same imagery, or the Clipart pack that you brought that to life with, which also means that if you're doing invitations and you get the perfect image, you may want to make several now of that image with your prompt that sort of make a little packet of art that could work and live in the same ecosystem with your particular invitation you're going to create. So basically a way to create additional products that, you know, have a similar look, follow your theme, and that you can build on. So we're going to go to the next product, and that is a a guest poster. Now you can do this two different ways. You can actually do one that still has color, and then you would just put it out. This is best for children that are old enough that they can write, so that they can, when they come in, you have a keepsake poster like this, a little keepsake thing. Now this doesn't have to be a huge poster size. You know, if the parent wanted to do that, then they could, you know, because they're going to get this printed. But you also want to include sizes that allow for them to, so you might do 3 sizes. You might want to do like a big 16 by 20, you know, poster size, or 11 by 14 poster size that they could go and take and have printed somewhere on big paper, and be more of a poster kind of thing. But think about how these people are going to use it, how they're going to store it, how it's going to become a keepsake. So you can even do these in like an 8.5 by 11. That way the little poster, the little mini poster, could be put in a keepsake book or scrapbook or something like that. So keep in mind also what would work best for the parent and for the child as far as when they're going to be storing it and the things that they could do with it. You can also, if your printer you know, some printers do 11 by 17, so, you know, I might would include that size, or the even most standard printers do legal size paper, so you could even do that. But an 8.5 by 11 would fit nicely inside of a scrapbook, so you don't feel like you have to make the printer, you know, the parent, you know, in fact, in your explanation of your product and the directions, you could tell them, okay, you know, this is a great size for putting into a scrapbook or whatever, you know. So anyway, this is cool because then they have a record of all of their friends that came to their party. Their friends could write a little something wishing them a happy birthday on it. So this is a cool little concept, and you can do it both in the coloring and the non-coloring version. The coloring one is cute because you can put it out, and then later, after everyone's gone, then the birthday child could foreseeably go in and color their part, and it allows them, they could sign it themselves, you know, and then color that as well. And then you have a keepsake of their coloring that is easy to keep instead of keeping all of the other things. Okay, so this is product 2. Okay, so now we're going to go over and we are going to look at creating a little favor coloring, mini coloring book kind of thing. Now this gets into some complications of decision making that you can do to create your product. So let's just say that you're going to create a 1-page. In other words, the people would go in, they would personalize the name of their child and the dates and everything here. So you would set all this up and fix it so that they could go in and personalize this part of it. And then on this page, you would have a coloring image and then a couple of puzzles or something. So a different way to use the same info that you did on the placemat things, the little kids activity mats. Okay, so this is just another way to do it. And the thing about it is, when you create all these images, that gives you the flexibility of including different items within different product combinations. Because what I'm going to do is, with my invitations, I'm going to start adding some of these extras in with my invitations, because I tend to have a more expensive price point for my invitations anyway. So rather than reduce my cost of that product, I'm just going to make the product better and include extras. So they're going to get like a little bonus. Maybe it's the bonus welcome poster, guest poster. Maybe it's the activity mat, or maybe it's the little favor book. Now this would easily be just folded in half. It's one sheet of paper. They print front, they flip it, print the back, or either they duplex it, and then they have a cute little favor and a little something, you know, that instead of the activity mat version, they could use this, okay? Now, you could add an extra page. That would give, basically, you would get 8 pages. So they would have to staple it down the middle. So you could set it up that way. I'm not going into that. I'm just giving you the ideas right now. And simply you just set this up as an 8.5 by 11 because you also still want to make it where it's easy for the people to print. And using standard things will make that a much easier thing for them to do. So you just, you know, set your page up, and then you drag your guide here to set your pages up. So this is the front and the back, and this would be your inside. Okay, so that's the third product. Okay, and then you can always just do coloring pages. This would be really cool because you set it up with different characters or whatever, or it could even be the same character. That's up to you, that you give them a choice of. And then you set it up so that they already have the name in here, and all they have to do is go in and change it to all the guests, and then each guest would get a sheet with their name on it that they could color. So that's a super simple one, and that is our third product. Okay, you can also do the same thing with the, you know, doing a sheet that has the let's see if I have one. No, this is showing the other one. So the sheets are really cool. And the last one would be setting up a page that's going to just have the activity. So you could take, and this is the invitation here. Obviously this one was for a first birthday, and I'm saying that a lot of these are going to have to be for a little bit older child, but I liked this dinosaur and wanted to put him in there. So okay, actually this is my alligator, I think, so sorry about that. No, it isn't, it's a dinosaur, sorry. Okay, so let's see if I can show you. Let me just do it here. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through making the activity sheet and the options that you have for that. Okay, so if you go in and you go to Kids Puzzles, that's where we're going to create these. And I just wanted to walk you through some choices that you have. You can do a complete the word, you can do spot the correct spelling. I wouldn't do those for birthdays, but it also will show you how you can actually turn these into, okay, let's just do this one and say, princess. Okay, number of pages 1, and then we're just going to generate that puzzle. So, okay, so with this one we have circle the correct spelling for each picture. So the way we can take this activity, and this would be a way that you could do a more educational. So we're leaving behind the birthday party. So this is the fourth, the fourth one, but this is how we can use these. So what we would do is we would download that. Well, we wouldn't have to download it yet. I did it just out of force of habit, but instead we could go over now to the bulk actions, create new action, choose from library. We just choose this one. didn't choose it. Hang on. Oh, okay. And we're going to do the coloring page. We're going to set it up for a regular letter size. We're going to build the action. And then, now, two different ways. This is super simple, but I'm going to show you how you can personalize this if you're wanting to make it a part of a larger project. Now we could have, see, now we have a learning page here. So we could do a whole learning activity. But if we want to take it over here, and I think I'm just gonna do it like this. This is just so I don't have to download it and upload it. Make it faster for the video. Okay. I'm gonna go over here, and then I'm just gonna paste it in. Okay. So this gives us the look. Okay. Uh-oh. Hang on. Let me take a look closer. Oh, goodness. Okay. So this is not, this one didn't work out at all, and I didn't notice it until just a few minutes ago, where it says circle the correct spelling for each picture. It actually screwed that up. So I'm also, to fix it so I don't have to do, these are right. They have the right choices. It's just that this right here did not do right. So there's two ways we can do this. If you have a problem like that. And mind you, I copy and pasted it. So we can just easily just go in and erase this part right here. Okay, so we've got that. And then we can remove the background. So it's still better than having to do each one of these individually. But what we can do across the top is we can take those instructions, circle the correct spelling for each picture, or do our own rules of what this activity is about. So we would just go over and add circle the correct spelling. And then it would just be like that. And we could make it, obviously if I was doing this to sell, I would make my, I would make it into a little, I might add some things. I might add a border. I might make it, however I was going to set it up for my particular thing. But this does make it much easier. You can even go over here and you could even do the magic layers where it would kind of separate and make those items where you could then rearrange them. That did not work. So maybe we can't do that with the black and whites. That did not appear to, let me see if it does differently. Nope. So let's go backwards with that. That did not work. So I would not recommend doing that. And as you know, I'm just going to point out, I'm not one that's not going to show you when things don't work. That did not work. So we can't do that. So we would have to break it apart a different way, which we still could. We could still absolutely break it apart differently. But anyway, it does save you a little bit of time creating the puzzles and writing that all out. Again, you'd have to, this is a way you could do away with that. And then you could remove the background. And then you just, so you don't even have to erase it. You can just drag it like that. and then set it up however the way you want to. So that's the 4 different product variations that you can use the coloring images with. You could go in, you could save this part, and you could actually remove that part, and then you could do your own crank, the matching things that match your pack or what you have in your coloring book, all of your own images with these, and then you don't have to type them all out. So it's just a quick way to create those puzzles. And the thing I want you to think about is the fact that everyone does not have to be, most of these events are going to go to different people. So it's okay if you use some of the same puzzles and then rotate them around into different products without having to make like 1,000 and every time you do a new one having to do a different one. Like if you've got a princess party, now if it's all going to be in the same thing for the same party, you'd want to do different puzzles. But if you're doing like one design of a castle, and you could use the same ones, just change the art out. So think about that. That's just a way to save you a little bit of time. And Artistly does have some really cool things. Let's look again before I end the video. Let's just look at some of the others. The maze generator. This is what it looks like. And it actually gives you a choice of a maze with a border. I think that this one is more functional and easier because you don't have to remove those. I wish it actually would allow you to remove these objects so that you were just creating the puzzle, but it doesn't allow you to do that yet. It does give you a few styles that you can do here, so that's pretty cool. I usually pick this one. We could try the doodle and see if it does. Let's do easy, and let's just do animals, and we're just gonna do one maze. But you can do up to 25 mazes at one time. So in one little sweep, you could do a whole bunch of choices that you just go in and grab one. To me, it changed the style of the art a little bit, but it didn't. It's not black and white or anything like that. But if you're going to use your own art, it doesn't matter anyway. I just feel like you have more control over it if you just remove those images and then do them. Okay, so let's go back up and look at a few more. Okay, so you have spot the difference, you have shadow matching, logic puzzles for adults, crossword puzzles, counting numbers, bilingual word to image matching, Sudoku puzzle, complete the word, spot the correct spelling, and activity book builder. This is where you actually can build a whole book. And that's a pretty cool feature too. And I'm sure that I'll explore that a little deeper and might do a video on how I would personalize that feature. But anyway, I just thought this was really cool. There are so many different things if you use your imagination. Hopefully this video will get your mind going in the right direction of different things you could do to go with your products. But if you do invitations, these things can stand alone, but also they make great bonuses to make your invitations stand out. Nowadays folks are just very economically aware, and they want to still do the fun things that they've always done, but maybe they don't have quite as much money anymore. So we have to move with those times. We can't be unrealistic that some people are under economic strain that would allow them to put on a cool party. And if you can actually increase the pricing of or keep your pricing but give them more bang for their buck, then you're still making more money because you don't have to depend on someone choosing to make 3 different purchases of 3 different individual items that coordinate, you're already giving them a pack that gives them some things together. And I know most of the party things are around cupcake toppers and things like that. So those are good as well. And you can kind of do them all at the same time if you want. But these coloring things give them something that is like, they may skip cupcake toppers. They may just decorate their cupcakes, you know. So that might not be anything they would do, but they are going to have to look at favors and activities to keep the kids busy. So these may actually be things that they would come closer to actually thinking they need. And if you already have your, you know, it may be the difference between you selling them a $3 or $4 invitation and an $8 one. And you're making it easy because their decision fatigue doesn't have to take in if they see a cute invitation and then say, oh, but that's really cute because, you know, it includes this and this and this that I can work with, you know, within, that's an activity that I don't have to think of or whatever. So anyway, just a way of thinking of it. I hope you've enjoyed the video and the products I showed you, and saw how easy it can be to personalize and make them, how cool it is to use Artistly. And, you know, Artistly is where I created all of the artwork that, sorry about that. I got a coughing. Anyway, so the actual images, I used my playbooks with. So if you're not familiar with my playbooks, be sure and check out all of my videos where I use the playbooks to, they help you learn how to prompt better. You can use them with anything, not just Artistly. You could use them with Midjourney or with any of the image generators. They are designed as reference materials, and so you can refer to them to help you learn how to ask for what the images that you want to create. Anyway, so be sure and check those out. Check out my description for the link to my website. I have a couple of freebies on there, and you can check those out. I also have the playbook store, so you can look and read all about the playbooks and what each one does. And you can also find some of my older videos. I've kind of categorized them. They're going to take you back to YouTube, but you can kind of, I've got them divided into different lists. So they're a little bit easier than looking through the playlist, so you might want to check that section out. Also, as far as the playbooks, I don't collect any information. I don't do the billing or anything like that through the website. I use Etsy and Gumroad, and so there's a link for each of those depending on where you want to purchase them. And of course, in the description, I also have my affiliate link for Artistly. And if you're unfamiliar with Artistly, it is, I paid like a little under $150 back in 2023, fall of 2023, the day that they launched it. I just happened to get an email and went in, and I just thought it would be great. And back then we had one generator. Now we have like probably, I don't know how many. I haven't even counted them. There are so many generators inside Artistly. This is just under the AI Art Illustrator. And this is all the different styles. So each one of these is like a separate generator. It does a different, it's trained on different styles. Then we've got all of these over here. All of these are different generators. And then we have design agents and a storybook studio, the puzzles, consistent characters, the bulk actions, flip books. There's just so many features now that we didn't have. We had one little generator when I bought it, and it was still worth it. I used it for months and months and months and created lots of things that I sold. So it's a really, really good deal. And I think even people that like to use other ones should probably own it, just in the event that the subscription-based model goes up so high you can't afford it. You know, if you kind of get familiar at the same time as you're rocking along with using Artistly, since it's a one-time pay. And now they sell a cheaper version. It just doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but you still get the upgrades and all that kind of stuff. So you may want to consider that, and see if maybe you want to take that trial. And I appreciate it if you use my affiliate link. That helps me. If you see a coupon anywhere, you can still use my link and just input that coupon number. I'm not aware of one right now, but if you see one floating around, you can use that coupon code with my affiliate link, and it helps me and you at the same time. So awesome. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you will subscribe if you haven't already, and you will like and comment on the video and let me know what you think. Be sure and go and watch that other video that I showed you at the beginning, so that you can see how you can create those images quicker. And until next time, happy creating.